all the YouTubers you watched like 5, 10, maybe even 15 years ago? Maybe they were a creator that you just stopped vibing with, or perhaps they were an unproblematic Let's Play channel that just stopped uploading one day. I'm still mourning PB and Jeff to this day. God rest their soul. They're not dead, but God rest their soul. Now, I'm sure at least a few YouTubers might have popped into your head, maybe ones that you hadn't thought about in years until you clicked on this video. So now I ask you this. How many of those YouTubers did you part on good terms with? Let me explain. Now, nobody's perfect, right? I'm sure we all have a few, or at least one YouTuber that we followed back in the day that ended up being a little problematic, you know, like Tobuscus or Shane Dawson or Onision, to name a few I was familiar with. Either they were already crazy and we were just too young to notice it, or they went crazy after the fact and they stopped holding that nostalgic power over us, you know? Like, we no longer had a reason to stay subscribed. Usually when it's the latter and a creator has some massive controversy around them, that's it. They might still be uploading on a main or side channel, or maybe they've just become a lot more active on X. But the engagement they get now is like less than half of what they got before. This is now what we refer to, or at least what we used to refer to, as getting canceled. It was the one thing that makes almost everyone collectively go, that's it, I'm out. Now, I'm sure hearing me, iconic Final Fantasy XIII defender, say the word canceled made you roll your eyes a little bit, but I'm serious. This word was a real career killer back in the day. At this point, so many YouTubers have been able to bounce back from this phenomenon that has kind of become a joke on the internet. Like, you're getting canceled is something that you say to your friends on a Discord call when things get a little too real. Eminem even made a whole album about the concept after millennials were allegedly tricked into thinking we were trying to cancel him. Look, I can't speak for my whole generation, but I got into Eminem more than 10 years ago thanks to my dad. I fucking love my dad. What I'm trying to say is that canceling doesn't always hit the way that we may want it to. Sometimes creators are canceled for the wrong reasons, like their words were just misinterpreted. Or, like I said before, they're able to bounce back from this by just giving their side of the story, in a classic YouTuber apology. I'm sure you know this by now, but these apologies don't always go quite so well. In fact, sometimes they even cause more harm than the initial thing they did to get canceled. Some apologies, however, are structured pretty well enough to appease the situation, or at least bring the core audience back in, regardless of how much time has passed since the incident. Sometimes it's not even about what the creator did. Consumers will come back and consume the product simply because the product is good. What if I told you there was a YouTuber that did all of that? And I mean literally like verbatim, all of it. Not only has he been on the platform for over a decade and made memorable quality content in that time, but he developed an incredibly strong fan base, went on to say incredibly ignorant things, got canceled for it, bounced back like it was nothing, and then seemingly disappeared of his own accord for a year straight. That's right. Today, I'm gonna be talking about JonTron.
Jonathan Jafari was born on March 24th, 1990, and originally made content under the username BirdmanXZ6, both on Newgrounds.com with these cute little onion animations, and later on YouTube with these Super John vlogs. Very cute.
It's about time someone took action here.
It wasn't until 7 years later, in August of 2010, that he created the channel JonTron Show. He chose the name JonTron simply because he thought it sounded good and it was reminiscent of the future and technology. JonTron's main content was on video games, whether he was reviewing one title or the series as a whole, and he kept the focus on a mix of genuine criticism and comedy.
Even when John's content started to move away from video games, the number one thing he focused on was comedy. It's just a shame he couldn't just stick to that.
Damn, Grump! People like me are supposed to listen to people like you chatter on about this.
No, we're not talking about it. I don't want to get into it, because it's irrelevant to what I'm trying to talk about. Okay, fine. Stop all this. Clear it up. Just you and me here. I'm thinking about it. You're obviously thinking about it. And we're not going to be able to get through this unless I address it, right? So fine. Let's talk about it.
In 2017, John mistakenly took part in a debate against streamer Destiny, where he shared some incredibly wild and accusational beliefs on immigration and race for about 2 hours. This caused a massive amount of backlash that still follows him to this day, despite both his official statement on his channel and his expanded thoughts on an old episode of the H3 podcast.
Let me get one thing clear. What John said on that live stream, and also during the height of COVID-19 on Twitter, is baseless incredibly ignorant, and downright harmful to the parties he spoke of. While I can still say I enjoy his old content, I can also recognize that John is not knowledgeable about the world that he lives in. He has no idea what he's talking about. I know it, you know it, and I think even he knows it. If you want someone to go through all the nitty-gritties and all of the things he said on that live stream and how terrible he is at conveying his points, I'm sure there are plenty of other videos talking about this live stream, but I am not the person to do it. Not only do I want to keep politics out of the Starla name, but I'm not American. It's not my place. Trust me on this, all right? I'm not here to talk about Jonathan Jafari. I'm here to talk about JonTron. Yes, I was a fan of JonTron. I was more specifically a fan of the old Normal Boots days. Normal Boots was created in late 2010 by John and Austin, more specifically known as Peanut Butter Gamer.
I personally became a fan in the middle of 2014, in the very middle of their biggest revival yet. The core four for me were PBG, JonTron, Pro Jared, and Gerard the Completionist, but we all know how that turned out. John left Normal Boots in 2017 during its fourth and final successful revival to focus on his own content, and not too long after that, for completely separate reasons, Normal Boots became a thing of the past.
Anybody here old fans of Lunch Club? Yeah, this was my Lunch Club.
As of March 18th, the literal day I'm recording this, JonTron's show has 146 videos on the channel, with only about 144 of them publicly available. Yes, I counted. Of course, not all of these are your usual JonTron videos. Some are channel updates, con attending announcements, strictly sponsored videos, or whatever the hell John decided was worth editing and uploading.
There's a gun in here.
The last video he ever uploaded was on January 11th, 2025, and there's been no signs of him returning since. John is known to have these big gaps in uploads, but he also did just have his first kid, named William Albert Jafari. I'm sorry, I know I said I wasn't going to be talking about Jonathan, but if PB and Jeff can get resurrected from the grave to congratulate him on this, then I'm mentioning it. JonTron's a father now. Isn't that weird?
While the JonTron Show channel does have 146 videos listed, that's not even close to how many videos John has actually made between 2010 and 2025. It's actually closer to 200 videos. And I'm gonna watch them all. Okay, maybe not all of them, but like most of them. Because I've been thinking about it, all right? I didn't even notice it until you guys pointed it out to me, but I made probably too many references to JonTron and Normal Boots in my last video. But in truth, I'd been thinking to myself throughout that entire process, was JonTron ever funny? I mean, the short answer is probably yes, right? Whether we want to admit it or not. The praise for John's content can be seen over a decade back. He was once one of the most searched memes on the internet. Even if you've never clicked on a single one of his videos in your life, there's a fair chance you've seen his face in a reaction GIF or heard his voice on TikTok. Did you ever see that video of the guy talking to Hey Siri and asking for pictures of tortellini?
Hey Siri, show me a picture of tortellini. Oh, that's nice.
That's him.
Hey Siri, what's going on in North Korea today?
I can't search the web on Apple Watch.
Oh, you lying bitch! You're telling me you come preloaded with tortellini?
But while JonTron's legacy can't be denied, has anyone actually ever gone through it? Has anyone ever analyzed it? I mean, many creators have talked about either the character or the controversy. But has anyone ever looked at the content? Has anyone ever gone back and watched all of his videos and written down things about them? Because I'd like to be the first. Now I know what you're probably thinking. Starla, why does it have to be you? Where is this even coming from? Well, okay. I actually got this idea from watching Nomad's review on Boy in a Band's content. I wanted to look into how someone's content can grow and change alongside them, you know, as they get older, as they grow and change. And since JonTron has a smaller but more familiar amount of content and has even been on the platform longer than Boy in a Band lasted, he seemed like the perfect subject. Jesus Christ, what do you mean Boy in a Band has over 500 uploads? Did he watch them all? I mean, I guess that begs the question, how many videos am I gonna be going through? Well, I actually had to set a few rules for this adventure to keep myself from taking 2 months to make this video. If it is still available on the JonTron Show channel, I will be watching it, even if it's not necessarily a structured JonTron video. This includes the monkey song, anything that might have a part 1 on it, the Did You Know Gaming outtakes, his videos playing Counter-Strike, you get the idea. However, if it's simply some sort of update or announcement video, like info about merch or con details, I will be skipping it. If it is a video currently not public on JonTron Show, but was at one point a JonTron video, I will be watching it. This includes any unfinished videos that he showed off. I will be avoiding any and all collabs not officially featured on the JonTron Show channel. This means his old collabs with the Completionist or his features on Did You Know Gaming. Some of these rules may be bent a little bit if I find a video that seems integral to marking a particular era, but we'll just have to see how it goes. Anyways, how many videos am I gonna end up watching? Oh boy, here we go.
The first thing I noticed during my watch-through was that John already goes through significant changes before his first year was even up. He starts Normal Boots only a few months after his first video, and the level of quality that evolves with the next couple videos is amazing. He moves the general setting from this couch to this iconic desk and even gets into filming different shots for skits, involving his friends into the mix to make the show feel even more alive. Even in 2010, you can really see when he started to put more thought into the show, especially with how frequently he uploaded. John would be getting videos out multiple times a month, sometimes uploading videos less than a week apart from one another. The editing in these videos are simple, sure, but even something as simple as finding the right clip and cutting it in right can take quite a bit of time. Although he probably could have been a little bit smarter with his picks, because when he's talking about the Sonic R music, he chose to show this music video of this unrelated lady, and now most of Twitter is taking it as a sign that he hates black women, I guess? Which is, look, I don't want to come on here and try to counteract this point. I, as a white person, don't want to come on here and try to be like, this isn't racist because 1, 2, 3. But what I do want to do is add a bit more context to this. If you look at the other JonTron reviews, like his review on Nimbus or his review on Donkey Kong Country, he's speaking with a cadence that's sarcastic and uninterested.
Tired of games like this? How about games like this? Like you can change the piss stream on your goldfish. It is a game where they got bored of making Metroid Prime and asked Nintendo if they could ruin another series.
And if you look back on the old Normal Boots website, you can see that he was rather conflicted with what kind of content he wanted to make, whether or not he wanted to make more review content or make more funny content. It's clear that people just wanted him to be funny, so he was throwing in whatever worked, whatever would get a laugh. There is nothing here in this segment that specifically states that it's because of a specific kind of person that may or may not be singing it. I think it's also important to note that John is not familiar with the Sonic franchise. He's definitely the kind of fan that would state he's a Sonic fan, but only for 1, 2, 3, and Knuckles. I genuinely believe that he is not familiar with any kind of lyrical music in Sonic, and based on the clips that he showed later on throughout the video, I genuinely believe he's trying to convey that lyrical songs don't belong in gaming. But again, we all take in contexts differently. If this is your takeaway from it, that's completely valid. I don't want to take away from that. I just think the added context is important when having this conversation. It was definitely an odd choice for that pick. We will never truly know the specifics on why John chose to use that particular clip, but we do have some added context as to what his mindset was like around the time this video was made. Oh, and before I go, I wanted to do a bit more research on that particular clip, so I took a screenshot of the music video, threw it onto Google, and it turns out it's from an artist called Stephanie Mills. It was released in 1989. It's called Something in the Way You Make Me Feel, and it's not soul. It's R&B. So if you're gonna argue that John is hating on a particular genre of music from a particular kind of person, maybe get the genre right? I'm sorry, I'm being an asshole, but like, this guy was trying to come at me for talking about the genre. He didn't even get the genre right. He didn't even get the genre. He was truly dedicated, and it shows. Even in the Dino City video in 2011, where he tries to be nonchalant about his previous uploads, he tries to make it clear that he's not going back to the whole retro reviewer shtick, but he still locks in with the jokes and the editing. This video is a little dated, sure, but I'd argue it still holds up.
However, 2011 was also the year John seemed to struggle with finding the right image. Now, keep in mind, I was using my own judgment with marking these, but John was saying some shit.
From your dignity and raped mercilessly for the past 20 years.
John, you can't say that.
And my name, even easier. Austin is gay.
You can't say that.
As Yannick can tell you, rape is not viable option.
John, you can't say that.
You saved Jeff Goldblum's retarded wife. But hey, it's not that bad of a I'm white, but these kids made me look like fucking P. Diddy, aight?
Ooh. You can't say that, John!
I'll admit, I laughed a few times. It's the absurdity that gets a chuckle out of me. The absurdity of using these words in a joke is what made it funny back in the day. The fact that you would choose that word out of all other options. I'm not saying we should go back to saying the R slur or telling sexual assault jokes, anything but that. I'm just saying a good execution is a good execution. And sometimes, at least back in the day, the execution was, what did he just say? In 2010, John said 11 offensive things, and in 2011, he said 14 offensive things.
I at least think it's clear in his work that John probably didn't want to be a comedian at this time. He wanted to be funny, sure, but he was far more focused on reviewing and critiquing games rather than showing off how wacky and wild they were. As soon as the reviewer era starts with the launch of Normal Boots, his top 10s are structured in a pretty strict way. I mean, his tone is clear and controlled, like he chose his words carefully, and he does quite a lot of them during this age.
Top 10 minigames, top 10 boss battles, top 10 Mario Kart tracks, top 6 scary things in gamings, top 20 SNES games. My God, those are all in 2010. But then when he does actually attempt to review a game, we get one of two kinds of it. Either he actually attempts to articulate his points in an objective, unbiased manner like with his deleted GoldenEye review, or he chooses to lose all sense of clarity and understanding with his reviews on Nimbus, Donkey Kong Country, and worst of all, his Sonic videos.
Ready. I'm Sonic. Go. I'm Sonic. I'm Sonic.
My God. The Sonic videos are really bad.
I got out of my cage with the lock. I picked it with the key to the cage, and all I do is play Sonic games in the basement.
This video didn't age well.
I get that it was popular to hate on any Sonic game that wasn't Sonic 2, and Sonic R isn't exactly a great game, but even when he's trying to praise Sonic Colors or Generations, it comes off as asshole-ish. Is that even a word?
Sonic Team says they've gone back to basics, but I still think they're full of shit.
This entire skit of the Sonic team being addicted to coke and killing blatant neurodivergent mocking Barbara the Completionist is like...
Is that how you want it to be taken seriously, John? Even his video on Final Fantasy XIII is uninspired and sloppy. I didn't laugh once. He doesn't even own the game. John, do you even care about Final Fantasy? John, was this video your idea? Because I don't think it was. I'm definitely biased because I just got done with my Final Fantasy XIII video, but I am not convinced that John gave this much of a shit about modern Final Fantasy to me making videos like this. He makes a few jabs at it in this era, but I don't know, my gut just tells me that it's just a weird bit. He doesn't even own the game. I guess you could argue that he probably sold it and then got mad enough to make the skit, but I don't know, I just don't feel it. Later into 2011, he actually gets a grip and tries to make structured video reviews, but it just isn't funny.
He definitely has his moments, like with Top 10 Commercials, Monster Bash, and the Malkovich videos.
Across from the bus barn in Wasilla, now is where we is.
But this was the era where I was tempted to reach for my phone the most. I'm sorry, I'm sure this is someone's favorite JonTron era because he's very no-nonsense and he does a very good job expressing himself in a professional manner.
I was surprised at how well he wrote some of these reviews, don't get me wrong, but it's boring! I'm bored, it's boring! And when he's not boring, he's just saying the R slur again. It's not funny. You can't pose yourself as a professional game show video game reviewer when you're saying stuff like this, John. It's not professional. It feels forced. You wanna know when he's at his best in 2011? It's when he's not leaning on a fucking script, like with Dino City, or Apples and Grapes, or Gaming in Public, or Drunk Gaming. His Lady Gaga parody.
No, you guys aren't ready. You guys aren't ready for this. I was obsessed with this parody. Okay, dude, I'm not even gonna grade it. I'm putting the fucking book down and I'm enjoying this.
It's been a long time since I played a ranked. Something about the rift.
Summoner's Rift!
Anything can happen if we just stick together. Yeah, screw it. Maybe gang the league and I. The league. It's been a long time since I played some rounds. Been a long time, but I ain't backing down.
And this time I ain't leaguing without you.
John is at his best when he is spontaneous and passionate, whether he's belting out into song or improvising on the spot. Despite me laughing at gaming guilty pleasures a little bit more, Gaming Game Show is arguably the better Malkovich video, and it's not because of the upgrade in production value. It's because it's completely nonsensical and clearly mostly improvised. This is peak 2011 right here. Look at 2011 Aaron Hansen.
John went through a lot of trial and error in 2011. He even made a goddamn League of Legends Let's Play channel that lasted 2 months, of course. I'm surprised he kept these up but got rid of top 10 overworlds in gaming. Maybe he lost the login, I don't know. In case I hadn't made it clear before, I'm putting all of John's videos into different eras. I'm doing this in hopes of having JonTron's legacy properly written down, you know, to get a clear history of JonTron. For this first year of JonTron, I'm separating the videos into 2 distinct eras. We have the pre-Normal Boots era, which is, as it says, the videos before the launch of Normal Boots, and then we have the Reviewer era, ending at the end of 2011. You'll note the distinct question mark next to Reviewer because, I just fucking explained it.
It's kind of unfortunate that, at least to me, 2011 feels like a very so-so era, despite it being John's most active year to date with over 21 uploads. What followed through the next year, though, is what I have chosen to dub the Silver Age.
2012 was the year where JonTron felt like JonTron the entire way through. Aquaman, Home Improvement, Bubsy, Charlie's Angels, Star Wars Connect, Nuts and Bolts.
Ladies and gentlemen, I plucked a whale from the ocean and he sounds like a seal.
Birdemic.
I'm gonna pay you extra for that gas, whether you like it or not.
Even his video on Final Fantasy 13-2 was really funny. He didn't even talk about the game. It was just one long-winded skit about how complicated time travel stories can get. It was clearly an excuse for John to just try out a clone shot. I think it's very telling that almost all of these videos are still public on the channel, except King's Quest and 13-2. Valid. But still, he had the JonTron jank down pat. That's what I'm calling it. We got the classic camera shakes, the yellow text, the zoom-ins, the cutaway gags, and the faces. Everything that made a JonTron video a classic is seen in every single one of these videos. This is John almost in his prime, especially in the Nuts and Bolts video, which had the most amount of laughs so far at 11.
I can't believe you did this to me, goddammit! I don't know about you, but I don't see any cars, or boats, or planes.
At least he's not destroying it well.
You can just tell he'd been thinking about making this video for a while now. He's been teasing it since the Star Fox video.
This was honestly the perfect mix of reviewer JonTron and comedian JonTron. He's able to articulate the ridiculousness of putting Banjo and Kazooie in a car
I don't even want to kill myself right now.
without saying the R slur. Oh my god, we've come so far. We're not even halfway through his content. Hell, we're not even halfway through the 2010s and you can just hear how passionate he is. It's like, oh, John, you're funny again, you did it.
2012 also marked the beginning of Game Grumps on July 18th, a Let's Play channel John did alongside Aaron Hansen, also known as Egoraptor, during the rise of that particular YouTube genre. Unfortunately, this caused quite a decline in John's upload schedule, who only uploaded 2 more videos before the end of the year and only 2 other videos in 2013, not counting any update vlogs.
Man, it's a shame Game Grumps only ran for a few months, eh? I wonder where they'd be if they kept going.
King's Quest and Nightshade, while still in the Silver era, are both an interesting glimpse into what JonTron's content would become once he moved to New York. I'd even lump Space Ace into this era despite being released in 2013. But then John went to New York, and my god, he locked the fuck in.
Holy fuck.
The Silver Era starts at the beginning of 2012 and ends with the State of Affairs vlog released in August of 2013. Despite it being a smaller era, at least compared to the last, I genuinely believe this is some of John's best work throughout his entire career. Everything that makes a good JonTron video is here, only overshadowed by what comes next. John got a huge upgrade in quality once he moved to New York. There was another logo change, an upgrade to the budget, an upgrade to the intro, and the JonTron art and the thumbnails. One so good, he'd sort of spread it throughout the entire rest of the channel.
Yeah, for some reason he changed some of the JonTron thumbnails, but not All of them?
But seriously, it's hard to explain what made these videos so good, but there was just a really, really good vibe change. It felt like John was inspired again, especially come 2014. While the Game Grumps era videos were good, they just lacked something from me. It was like a freshly made burger that looks like it has everything on it, and it looks good, but something was off. Maybe it needed more mayo or ketchup or fucking relish if that's your thing, I don't know. But it was here, it was back. The spark, the inspiration. The ketchup was on the burger and we were eating. What a stupid fucking lie. Home Alone, Pokemon bootlegs, Food Fight, Conan the Barbarian. My actual reaction. Oh my god. Takeshi's Challenge, California Games, Titanic, Japanese shoot 'em ups, any drug games, Clock Tower, Are You Afraid of the Dark, Plug and Play games, and Zoo Race were all released in 2014. Oh my god.
Everybody's up for a Noah
The party noise, the house saying, let me go. Let me go with the Noah party. You gonna say no, I'm saying no to this. Mom said since she's on drugs, she also meant to say no to this.
And every single one was like a breath of fresh air. There's a very fair chance that I'm biased because this was the year I actually started watching John, so I was here for when these uploads were fresh. But compared to 2011 and the first half of 2013, it genuinely felt like John actually wanted to make JonTron again.
And he didn't stop there, nay. In 2015, John had a fantastic start with Barbie games, but on May 4th, he teamed up with a multi-channel network owned by Disney of all people to create what I believe is one of the best review series on YouTube.
StarCade was a 9-episode miniseries where John reviewed almost every single old Star Wars game, and even some of the old toys, in the old classic JonTron formula.
Did you know this was my introduction to Star Wars?
This was made all thanks to Maker Studios and Polaris, the aforementioned multi-channel network owned by Disney. There were quite a few creators that were part of this network, including Markiplier, Dodger, and Captain Sparkles, who John also collabed with throughout this era.
Holy fuck, Captain Sparkles? Wait, I zoned out for a second. What the fuck?
John and Mark were my favorite duo by far. I don't know why, they just vibed well together whenever they were paired up. They had fantastic chemistry.
What are you doing over there? I don't know. Like you've actually giving a thesis over here.
Just because I'm eloquent and you act all the time doesn't mean that I'm gonna be. All right. Let's answer this in a language JonTron can understand. Scariest things happen different ways. You play one game, you go and you get another, you go whoa, and you're different. So I had to say.
This wasn't the first time John had gotten to do something cool thanks to Maker Studios and Polaris either. Back in the Game Grumps era, he got to be part of a Pacific Rim teaser skit alongside Dodger, Jesse Cox, Husky Starcraft, and Total Biscuit. Yeah, did any of those names make you glance up from your phone? I know Disney gets a lot of flack nowadays, but this point in time for YouTube was kinda cool. It allowed for some of these awesome creators to do some pretty awesome things, way before YouTube Red started to shift things.
We have a wave laser.
I didn't know either. Why didn't anybody tell us?
Didn't you read the manual?
I can't read.
John moving to New York and the run of StarCade marks the golden era, and what I believe to currently be the best JonTron era we've ever gotten. It runs from late 2013 to the final StarCade episode, which marked yet another iconic, momentous occasion for a niche little part of the internet. The reunion with Aaron Hansen.
Aaron? John.
Holy fuck, dude. Why am I getting emotional? It's just StarCade.
If you weren't here for this time period, it might be odd to understand why this was such a big deal. It might even sound a little bit ridiculous, but let me tell you, there was some drama around the initial departure of Game Grumps.
The announcement that John was leaving had seemingly come out of nowhere. To regulars viewing the channel, it seemed like one day they were playing games together and then the next day John was gone. Despite John's time on Game Grumps lasting less than a year, his initial departure was tough on a lot of fans at the time, and believe it or not, it took quite a few years for Dan to be fully accepted as the next Not-So-Grump.
Worst of all, when John finally did return to his channel, there was this weird mist in the air, like a confession or a truth left unspoken. John didn't just leave Game Grumps as a co-host. It wasn't that simple. It was like his time on the channel had become sacrilegious. John was not mentioned on Game Grumps, and subsequently Aaron was not mentioned on JonTron show. I mean, I guess that makes sense, right? Why would they mention each other? But something was off. It was deeper than that.
They'd taken each other off their featured channels, they wouldn't acknowledge each other much on social media. I don't even think they were following each other anymore. John would start leaving little references to his Not-So-Grump self in 2014 with a plushie here or a sticker there, but that was it. There was even some con drama around Cheez-Its of all things.
Yeah, thank you. I would like Cheez-Its, yeah. Thank you very much. Thanks for coming.
Dude, they got cheese nips back here. Excuse me. Are these someone else's nips?
Turns out, Aaron and John may not have split on good terms, which most of us expected at that point. There were a lot of accusations about the split being thrown around for years, some even going as far as to bring their partners into it, claiming John's ex had slapped Susie or that he himself had slapped Susie.
It was that bad, and the fact that no one was willing to address it is exactly what made it worse.
The only littlest bit of confirmation we ever got was on r/conspiracy Grumps, where John himself loosely confirmed that the split happened at E3 2013, when John got way too drunk and missed several appointments with Aaron. Apparently, John didn't want Game Grumps to become a big thing, but Aaron saw the numbers go up and was inclined to disagree. Since it was keeping John from making JonTron, he chose to leave, and that was it. We wouldn't get the first reference to John's time on Game Grumps until February of 2015, but even that was from Dan.
Do you think John's gonna be sad that he no longer holds the record?
Probably.
No, he'll be fine.
No.
He loves it. What's up, Johnny boy? We love you, girl.
Hey, baby.
Although it turns out we later learned that that's exactly when John and Aaron were planning their reunion we saw at the end of StarCade.
We planned that shit all the way back in February of 2015, so that's what, it was like 10 months before it launched.
Years of conspiracy and fan speculation could finally come to an end with that familiar little jingle whispering into the air.
Was this only closure for a niche part of the internet? Yes, but it really did feel that big. Even I felt how important this moment was. I mean, we'd heard that they had been seen together at cons and at bars and stuff a couple months before this finale had aired, but this was the absolute moment that we realized there was no hard feelings. John and Aaron win. They realized friendship is more important. This is what I mean, man. The jumping quality, the skits, the writing, and the action all led up to this real moment of closure. This is what the golden era was all about.
JonTron.
Being back in full swing. It's just such a shame it came at a great cost. Yes, unfortunately, my fellow brothers, sisters, and siblings of the olden days, his Goosebumps videos would be the last we would see of that glorious hat. It's weird how something like an accessory or article of clothing can become nostalgic and be well missed within a community. But it's true. This thing, right here, we mourned it. We still mourn it. He hasn't put it back on to this day. I'm convinced he doesn't even own it anymore, especially since he dodges questions around it.
Okay, the hat, I don't know, I just stopped wearing the hat. You stopped wearing a hat once? Yeah, it's like that.
That would be a real shame too, because I don't even know if any of these exist anymore. Some people claim to have a copy of it in their possession, but no one's ever actually provided proof of owning the exact hat with the eagle on the side and all. Well, you know what? If John's gonna stop wearing the hat, then maybe I'll just start wearing it. Whoa, 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 whoa! Wait, what's going on? What am I? Am I John? Half John. Okay, what is this, like some sort of Mario Odyssey cap? I can't take it off! Well, might as well make the most of it, right? I mean, it's better that I'm this John and not any of the older ones. I'll try to get through this as quickly as possible. While I believe the golden era of John ended with the finale of StarCade, there were a few other uploads in 2015 that started to feel off.
John moved from his apartment to an actual set, and I mean a full-on set with a full-on team. He had a makeup artist, someone on sound design, a director of photography, and even a producer.
John later claims that despite all this, the show should still feel like JonTron, or at least does to him. But, I'd be inclined to disagree.
Something just felt off during these last few episodes, especially with some of these skits.
We've seen them before, right? The cutaway gags, the funny faces, but 2015 brought in something different. It brought in this.
Obey, Grimbo! Obey!
Now, I remember thinking that this was pretty funny at the time of the video's release, but looking back on it now, I don't know, this doesn't feel like a JonTron skit. This doesn't feel like a JonTron character. Not in the same way Jacques or Rockington was.
There were some good bits here, but some of it was just unnerving. Maybe this was a sign of John maturing and wanting JonTron Show to be more of a JonTron show and less of a YouTube channel. But seeing the Normal Boots logo pop up in the same video as Grimbo just makes me uncomfortable. I have unironically not stopped thinking about how fucked up Grimbo is since I came back. I'm being so for real. I do not like Grimbo. I don't like anything about Grimbo. But I pushed through. I persevered. Even though Grimbo lingered in the back of my mind for the next 2 days, I got through it. And I realized something a little odd. Something I really didn't want to see before. 2016 has a bit of a rough start for reasons I'll get into later, but oh my god, it has some of the best videos he's ever made. I mean, we had a few shots in the dark here with a couple of his sponsored videos, and I'm not too much of a fan of the JonTron challenge, but we have so many solid videos in 2016 alone.
Eldrick Windy Drawers, defeated and broken at your feet.
Okay.
How shall you slay your defeated foe?
A Talking Cat, his second CSGO video, the Blizzard Rant, Skateboard Kid.
This
is crack. Kung Fu with H3, Disney bootlegs, Dark Dungeons, Howling 2, Love is Like Drugs, Drugs PSAs.
Come to my place.
Ghoul.
For a little.
Ghoul.
You'll like my friends. They're good listeners.
Are they ghouls?
Bill here is 16.
Was Christmas with the Cranks, whose name rhymes with Bim Rallin.
Yeah, beyond my wildest.
And his firework cover. Oh my god. This year he even started releasing original songs. Yes, not covers, not remixes. Love is Like Drugs is like a full EP with his name and his voice attached to it. Listen to some of this.
That's just what love feels like. Just what it feels like. She doesn't give a fuck. She got better things to do. Didn't know the side effects would be so bad. Gonna end up in rehab.
But before we can talk about the good, unfortunately, we kind of have to get into some of the ugly.
I feel really bad admitting this, but I started to notice a pattern with these uncomfortable uploads. Now, John released many videos in 2016. In fact, some of them are my personal favorites. But there was a huge difference in the vibe of the uploads in the first half of the year and the uploads in the last half. And that difference was Ela Klein. Yes, that Ela Klein. Ethan and Ela Klein. Look, I don't have a strong opinion on H3 anymore. I don't love them and I don't hate them. But some of these videos with Ela's involvement just felt off. I keep saying it, but it's the only word that describes it.
They weren't necessarily unfunny or anything, but the skits just felt weird. Some of them lingered on for way too long, to the point where I kind of got uncomfortable. Don't get me wrong, I don't want to be blaming their involvement. The Kung Fu video was pretty solid, but I went through all of these videos with this constant off-putting feeling until we got to Disney bootlegs. While the great bootlegs still made me cringe, I had a smile on my face throughout the entire video. So out of curiosity, I checked the credits in the description, and like I said, these videos are still good. I'm not saying that she ruined JonTron. I just noticed a pattern and I wanted to talk about it. I'm sorry. I don't know anything about being on set. I didn't go to film school, although I did ask my 2 film friends and they said maybe. So I don't fucking...
After this point, minus a few ads, the videos actually started to feel good to watch through again. These long and unnecessarily eerie skits were finally out of the picture and we were getting the quick laughs back. I went from laughing 3, 4, maybe 5 times to laughing up to 13 times in just one video.
But Mario,
You always smoke mushrooms. Get it? Oh, shut up, John. You made a mushroom joke way back in the day. I don't remember what episode it was. I bet if I look, I'd be able to guess. Anti-drug games, you literally made a Mario eating mushrooms joke. You made that joke 2 years ago.
Pac-Man popping pills, Mario's eating mushrooms, Mario's eating mushroom.
This major switch actually allowed me to get a good grasp on what makes a good JonTron video, at least for me.
In my opinion, these super long skits just don't work for John. He's always thrived on being quick and witty with his jokes, which he's explained was mostly due to Jacques, but that's what's always worked for him.
You can only film with them for like a few seconds at a time, which actually shaped some of the earlier JonTrons because I was forced to do the lines quickly and like just because I had to do it before the bird would like fly away or walk down me or something.
It's either that or when he's forced to be naturally funny through improv.
That's when he's at his best. That's when he's funny. And this revelation continued with me, not even just throughout the rest of this era, but all throughout the rest of my watch through. It is becoming a bit of a challenge to keep up this whole era thing, especially since now John's content can change so much within the same year. So I've decided to dub this half the H3 era, and this half the calm before the storm, which includes a Q&A video with this segment.
I never wanted to bring politics into my career, but the rules have just been broken. Every goddamn celebrity is just fascism and real in America 2017, literally shaking all the time. So I was just like, oh, fine, you're pulling me into it, fine. So I just wanted to give a voice of reason. I don't know if I have. I've probably just made things worse.
You have.
But if some day comes where it's appropriate, fine.
Can we go back in time, please? Can we go back in time? Oh my god, I'm so mad!
There's an honest to God demand for it, maybe someday. But I don't know, I have a feeling they would just look up my old videos and go, is this guy really qualified to give political opinions?
No!
Look, I'm not gonna get into it. I kinda already got into it, but I guess he'd been sharing his political beliefs on Twitter at the time and then was asked if he would continue to do so, which obviously his answer should have been no! But we can't always get what we want. You know, we can't travel back in time and stop ourselves from being on a live stream or stop ourselves from making Team Sonic intervention. The only thing that we can do is move on, so that's exactly what I'm gonna do. But I will say this, John got incredibly lucky with how successful his next video was.
Okay, technically his next video after everything was Vanilla Ice, but that was being made before this all went down. The real next video after everything was the one, the only, JonTron Show's most viewed video of all time, Flex Tape. You do the thing, and you do it right, and you don't fuck it up, it works. I don't think it's an overstatement to say that this video saved his career, and I think it truly shows with the opportunities he was given after the release of the sequel a year later. While uploads between 2017 and 18 were scarce, 2019 was quite a year for JonTron Show and the team behind it. He dropped $2,000 on a garden gnome, he hosted a game development competition, he collabed with official NASCAR driver Garrett Smithley, and so much more.
No, nice shot, retard.
John, you can't say that! Okay, that was funny though.
He didn't even just have his own team, he had his own office, his own company. But it doesn't feel like JonTron anymore.
I feel bad that I'm starting to run out of good things to say, but this last era kind of feels like the last era of JonTron. It'd be hard to explain what that means without repeating myself, but I mean, take a look at the change in set designs over the years. Compare some of his 2014 backgrounds to this. Remember when JonTron was meant to be a gaming show? Remember when he said he picked the name because it was reminiscent of technology? Yes! My favorite form of futuristic technology is also book and Pulp Fiction. What's yours? I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's talk about the new JonTron era. It's a pretty good mix of scripted and unscripted comedy, and it's nice to see his then girlfriend, now wife, getting involved as a member of the team. He clearly has a very different idea for the show now, but at least here, it works. The new JonTron era begins with the first Flex Tape video in 2017 and ends with Workplace Safety in 2019. I know, it may seem like we're stretching through the years a bit, but John's upload schedule became less frequent at this point. He only uploaded twice in 2018. Yes, only 2 videos. I know, I was surprised too. And look, I'm not trying to say John shouldn't have shot for something different. It's completely valid for him to be getting tired of doing certain things over and over. It's inevitable. Even PPG finally cracked and changed his way of making content after 15 years, choosing to focus on his second channel. I can't help but feel like he lost sight of things after this.
We've already talked about this, but I don't believe long-form skits work for John, or at least they rarely do. 2019 kind of proved that to me when a lot of these videos just felt like one long-form skit with no punchline, like Johnny Knew English or his video on the Pilgrims. I still believe that Sonic Team Intervention is John's worst video, but this isn't any better. Maybe it's because I'm not American, but I do not care for this kind of content coming out of this kind of man.
How are you going to tell me that JonTron is meant to be futuristic and technology-like?
6 or 7 or something like that.
And then make a 10-minute video about the fucking Pilgrims. Did anybody sub for this? He can't even get facts about his own race right. Why would you?
Well, you need to chill. You're very dramatic for a man.
I'm sorry, Mark, I miss the old JonTron, you know? The one who used to talk about games and Sonic Team Intervention.
But what were you expecting? Did you really think you'd make videos on games forever?
It's not the video games! Most of my favorite JonTron videos aren't even about the video games. It's about the passion. Some of the things that make JonTron have been missing, and I'm not just talking about the hat or the video games or even about Jacques. I get that he grew up and wanted the videos to feel like an actual show, and it's not like they're not funny anymore, it's just they don't feel like JonTron. Go ahead.
Hello? Yeah? Uh-huh.
What's that?
We're getting 3 weeks off.
In March of 2020, the entire world basically shut down amidst the aggressive rise of COVID-19. This forced a lot of big shot YouTubers out of their big time offices and right back to square one, in their home with a camera. John was one of those YouTubers, but honestly, this kind of benefited him more than you may think. John was likely committing to all of these super long skits as a way to show off the production quality of the show.
Oh wait, she can't, because she's dead. I wonder if she predicted that so she wasn't on the toilet when it happened.
Take this skit for instance, where John gets shocked by a murderer, turns and chops his head off, stands there shocked for like 10 seconds, and then it cuts to him dragging the bloody bag out to the elevator.
What was the joke? What was the punchline? I just watched it and I still don't know. I mean, I guess it was well executed, and I think that was kind of the point.
John, to an extent, wanted us to be impressed with the team he had developed. He was proud of the work everyone was putting in and wanted to show it off. But this meant more of these lengthy, structured skits were thrown in, much to my dismay. When the pandemic came through and it was right back to being just him, he was forced to work with what he had, and what he had was his brain.
You can feel free to disagree with me on this, but I always thought that John was naturally really funny. What I mean by that is, he's able to crack a joke in any scenario, like he doesn't need a script. His jokes don't need to be written down or structured in a script-like format. I guess you would call that ad-libbing. He's good at it. Being forced back into his home with the rest of us forced him back into that headspace. He no longer had a team and a producer to lean on. It was just whatever was in his head. And even though he only uploaded 5 videos this year, a lot of them were pretty good, especially his return to Goop or his Kid Nation videos. I feel like I'm repeating myself a lot, but this is exactly what worked for him, what has always worked for him.
This era was kind of thought up last minute, but I'm choosing to dub it the John Jafari era, starting in 2019 with Dr. Ho and ending at the end of 2020 with Steven Seagal. Realistically, this half and this half should probably be separated, but there just isn't enough videos in 2020 to give it its own era. I also think that there are some solid videos in the last half of 2019. Buying Dumb Things was good, Game Jam was fun, and the first Goop video is in here. If you find these videos to be more enjoyable than his 2011 uploads, that's valid. Alas, it wouldn't last forever. John would return to a built set as early as July, and while there were still plenty of good videos that gave me a good laugh, John's content felt very samey from here on out, all the way to his latest upload last year. John would occasionally shake up the formula with shameless dating shows or his Temu video, but it all kind of molds together in my head when I try to think about it. Like no single joke or funny moment jumps out at me. I think this has to be the final era, one that I'm really hesitant to give a name to.
I'm serious, I spent like 3 nights thinking of some sort of catchy name, but nothing came to me. I was thinking of calling it the It Ain't Broke era, or maybe even the finale, but I don't even think that John's gonna be gone for good. I feel like I might be overthinking this whole era thing anyways. I don't want to be putting John's content in all of these boxes, especially since we're all gonna see his content differently. At the very end of my watch through, I ran over to the JonTron subreddit to ask some of the fans a few questions about his content, like when they first started watching him, and if JonTron ever stopped feeling like JonTron. I got many different answers, including one person saying that they stopped at the Johnny New English video because it wasn't good to them, only to be followed up by another person saying that it was one of their favorite videos. And that's what I mean. It was really cool to hear from all different kinds of JonTron fans, whether or not they still consider themselves to be a JonTron fan. So when I present a question like, was JonTron ever funny? The long answer is actually a lot more complicated than just a simple yes or no. I mean, I can confidently list my top 10 and least favorite JonTron videos, and my lists might be completely different from yours. You may have fond memories attached to the Sonic and Final Fantasy videos, or maybe you didn't discover John until after the pandemic, so these long-form skits are just the norm for you. And that's all completely okay. At the end of the day, JonTron's legacy on the internet will be remembered for quite some time, whether for better or worse. Do I think old JonTron was better? Maybe. Do I think he'll be gone forever? Not really. Do I think he should have just ignored this comment and kept his mouth shut? Oh yeah, without a doubt. But you'll probably catch me talking about this particular generation of content creation for some time now. It was really important to me growing up, and it's kind of shaped my humor nowadays, so buckle in. And John, if you're watching this, first of all, I want to apologize. This might be a little jarring for you. This is just what I do in all of my videos. I cosplay in the second half. This is an homage, I promise. But I also just want to thank you, and by extension, PBG, for the creation of Normal Boots. I'm sure you get this all the time, but your videos back in the day unironically brought a lot of joy and a lot of good laughs, and during a particularly dark time of my life, regardless of where we all go in life, I will always be grateful for those times. And I hope that you and the rest of your family are doing well. I do have one question though. Where is the goddamn hat? Do you still have it? This wasn't even the right hat. I couldn't find it. No one can find it. Do you have it or not? Where is the goddamn hat? Oh, hey, it's off.
In case you're worried, I actually did mark the final era. Here it is, the end, with a question mark, because, you know, this era runs from 2021 to the final video in 2025. It has been an absolute pleasure to make this video. I love revisiting things like this from childhood and teenagehood, you know? And I really appreciate everyone for helping me make it, both on the JonTron subreddit and in my official Discord server. Also, before I read off the Patreon names, I wanted to say that I have a Minecraft server up. It's available to those on tiers 2 and up on the Patreon, it's Java only, and it's relatively vanilla for now, but that can always change. Would be really cool to see you in there, but it's also really cool that you're here right now, so no pressure. But, as always, before I go, I have a big thank you to say to some of my lovely Patreons. Thigh Heavenly, Torbert Theodore Orbington the Zeroth, Gilded Jackal, Sunny Castiform, Nightcaps and Nostalgia, Dancing Derp, Hell64, Audiomancer, Doobie Giovanelli, Red Blaze 27, Live High, Domo Nintendo 1, Radio Christine, Miles Flournoy, and Alex LH. You guys are my absolute superstars. Thank you so much for supporting.